Hello YouTube, my name is Marie, and for this video I'm calling it our first official You Pick and I'll Watch. I don't know if I'm going to continue with this sort of first impression style review. I think for the You Pick I'll Watch it could be really fun if I vlog myself watching your picks for the first time, or maybe if I YouTube live stream them and then we could watch them together. I'm not sure. If you guys have any ideas of how you would like this format to actually look, what you would think is the most engaging, please let me know down below because I'm still brainstorming with the whole idea. Also, I've decided that I'm going to do one of these once a month. So probably around the 15th, like midway through the month, I'll have a poll up on the Instagram for a few of the shows that I've noticed people have asked me to watch quite a bit, and then I will watch the winner. Whew. All that out of the way, today I'm talking about Hi Bye Mama. So out of the 18 people that voted, 10 voted for Hi Bye Mama. Hi Bye Mama is about a ghost who died over 5 years ago in a car accident. She left behind her newborn daughter and a very caring husband. Like, they had a really wonderful, healthy marriage. But even after all this time has passed and her husband has remarried, she refuses to move on, always finding the next excuse to stay and watch her daughter grow up. Now, while this does actually sound a bit comforting, at least to me, having, our deceased loved ones hanging around us, like watching us go through life, to me that sounds kind of nice. Her presence as a ghost is actually negatively affecting her daughter's development because children have weaker energy. Her daughter has a darker aurora. She doesn't talk very often, and the other adults find her cold and very uncomfortable. It becomes clear really early on that this little girl can actually see ghosts. Now, when our female lead is given the opportunity to live as a human again, as some sort of reincarnation project test thing, she uses her limited time to try and save her daughter from all of these dangerous spirits that are hanging around. First, let's talk about the pros and then the cons, and then I'll tell you at the end if I'm going to keep watching this show. And a huge pro for me was just how emotional I got. Oh my goodness, I actually cried throughout every episode. Like, the first episode hit me emotionally in ways I was not expecting, because the show is so good at highlighting very subtle, even simple moments, but showing them for the impact that they actually have. And I found one of the titles of the episodes, I think it might have been episode 3, maybe, and the title was "The Beauty of Life is Only Seen After Death," and it was just a perfect title for the entire episode because it was focusing on those little moments during life that we take for granted, like feeling the wind go by as you stick your head out a bus, or a hug between loved ones, or just like walking around while it snows. Like, these little moments, when you watch them through the perspective of our female lead, who is yearning for life and feeling really robbed from her life because, she's dead, and I think that's a bit relatable. They hit home. Like, I cried a lot, and it was just from little moments from our female lead looking over and seeing a mother with her teenage daughter, and she knows that she will never ever have that moment, and it was really sad. I don't think I would have gotten so emotional if the show hadn't been so good in two respects. One of them is the acting. I really think the acting here is perfect. It's not overdone, like, it's not melodramatic acting, but it's very open. Like, you can really see how each of the characters are feeling at a glance. And not only is the female lead doing a great job, but I also think her husband is a standout, and then also her family members. Her mom, I can't remember the actress's name, but I'm always really excited when I see her in a show because I quite like her. She's the Ajima from Healer. How do I do that? How do I bring Healer into every show that I talk about? So the acting's really good. And then the second part is the soundtrack. I don't notice the soundtrack all throughout watching it, but when I'm crying, I notice that they're playing this beautiful piano piece, and that really heightens everything for me. If you're giving me just straight up piano or cello, oh man, I'm gonna be crying. So the last major pro for me that I'm going to talk about is the world building. I hesitate to call it world building just because I'm unaware of Buddhist beliefs, so I don't know if a lot of these world building aspects that I really like are actually true to the Buddhist religion and what they believe the afterlife to be like. For an example, one of the ghosts is hanging around her daughter, and she tells him to leave, and he's like, I can't, I don't know where my remains are. And I kind of like that idea that like ghosts have to go back to their remains. And so like I just liked little moments like that, little world building things, because it makes the world feel rich. It makes it feel really thought out and believable. Like I believe that this afterlife, the way it's presented in Hi Bye Mama, would actually work like that. And I like it when a show is believable. Now we're gonna go on to the cons. The biggest one for me is that the comedic moments just don't land. This entire show is so heightened emotionally and really impactful for me that when they try and do their comedy, it's jarring. Like I'm getting whiplash. Like they're going from like the most powerful thing and I have tears rolling down my eyes, and it does take a lot for me to get the tears out. Like I feel the tingle like in my eyes, and I feel like I've been punched in the nose, but it's rare for me to actually have the tears. I had the tears. So I'm going from having actual tears to them having this weird bit about like a guy who doesn't have toilet paper and he's pooping or something. Like, so yeah, the comedy is really jarring. It's giving me whiplash. I don't think it's landing very well, and I understand why the writers are trying to insert some comedy because, as I've already mentioned, this is an emotional show, so you're gonna try and want to balance it with other emotions, and all of the comedy surrounds other ghosts, and I just don't care about them whatsoever. So, but for one thing, there's just too many characters when you throw in all of these other ghosts, and I have a feeling that we're going to learn little bits and pieces of every single ghost, or like the main ones. Like they've already highlighted a family who all died together except for their son, and then there's a girl who committed suicide, and then there's also a baseball player who had a scandal and he also committed suicide. So I feel like we're gonna end up focusing on different ghosts and their stories, which could be good, which could be powerful and blah blah blah, but at the moment within these first 3 episodes that I did watch, it just felt a bit crowded. Lastly, I think certain plot things could have been tightened up. There's a lot of threads going on with this show that are fine on their own, but when you put them together, they lack a bit of cohesion. Hypothetically, humor me for a second. Say instead of her just like cussing out God and then becoming human after like a thunderstorm, she realizes that her being there is negatively affecting her daughter. So she does decide to cross over. That's a very selfless, motherly thing to do by putting her daughter first, which I think this character would do. Like, she loves her daughter so much. So I think she should have actually crossed over because she's trying to protect her daughter. And then when she's like in the limbo area, I don't know if like there is a limbo area, but in my world there is a limbo area. So in the limbo area, they should tell her, like they should give her the option of being like, do you want to like be reincarnated, or we can send you back for a limited amount of time with the mission of protecting your daughter from these evil spirits that are hanging around, or like getting rid of them. Like, I feel like there needed to be a more clear reason why she became human again, because as it stands right now, she becomes human again and the shaman character tells her she's got 49 days to get her place back, but the shaman's just guessing. Like, she doesn't know for sure. So I'm like, getting your place back is so vague. So then that should be our female lead's mission, to get her place back, but then she decides no, she's not going to be like a homewrecker, because again, her husband's already married again. So instead she's going to focus on her daughter and protecting her daughter from evil spirits. So it's like, there's too much going on that lacks a purpose, and I want a clear end goal. Otherwise, it just feels a bit scattered, overcrowded, too many things happening, too many plot lines happening, and I just want it to be like shave down the fat. Can we please? So am I gonna keep watching Hi Bye Mama? I can see myself going back to it because the pro to con ratio is quite positive. Like, I did enjoy these first 3 episodes more than I didn't enjoy it. If I do keep watching it, I will probably skip ahead all of the side characters' plot lines because I had the urge to do that already. I don't know if I want to go back to a show knowing that I'm not going to watch it fully, like knowing in my head that I'm already planning to skip ahead. And then I've also looked up spoilers, and the ending is one that I don't necessarily feel like I have to watch this kind of ending play out on screen. Okay, so what did you guys think? Did you enjoy this very first official You Pick, I'll Watch? Give it a thumbs up, maybe comment down below a show that you think deserves to be in the race for the next installment of You Pick, I'll Watch. Yeah, and have a good day, have a good night, bye!